Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to use the deformer tool. I use this one quite often. So I'm going to click deformer and I'm going to rotate around my object, and you can see that there's a bunch of little white deformer points. If I go over to my cones here, you can see that if I pull this, I can add more deformation points. And we have our smoothness, and I'll get into that one in a minute. I'm going to turn these all the way down so we can start looking at how to use this, and it won't be as complicated. So I'm going to push all those all the way down so that we only have 8 points. So in order to move these around, I can select on a point and I can drag it, and you can see that it's starting to warp my form. What I like to do is hold shift so that I can rotate to a 90-degree view, and I want to select multiple points here. So I'm going to hold control, left click, drag, and I'm going to mask out the points that I want to use. And so as soon as I let go, you'll see that those actually disappear and the other ones are still active. So if I hold control and tap to the outside, it's going to invert that selection. So now only those two are selected and the other ones are deselected. So now what I can do is I can grab this little white arrow, or I can grab the blue or the red arrow, and I can just drag those 2 points. You can see I get a fairly complicated shape there. I can click W. Oh, let's go back here. Let's click deformer. There we go. And I can scale these in. I can scale those out. I'm going to start getting some interesting kind of organic shapes. Slide this up. Very complicated shape. Okay, so I'm going to hit Control Z, and now I'm going to Control Z one more time. I'm going to adjust. So you can see as soon as I clicked this this cone to add more points, because I had not saved my deformation, it went ahead and reset my deformation to add points in here. You can use this multiple times, and I'll show you here. So I'm going to put that deformer in here. I'm going to move this up. I'm going to click on my gear, tell it to accept. Now I'm going to go back to deformer, and now you can see that we have that shape, and we have multiple deformation points now for this shape. So let's do a couple more modifications here. I'm going to accept this one. Now I want to get rid of some of these faces, so I'm going to hit Control D a couple of times to smooth those out. Don't like this ridge here, so let's get rid of that. Okay. So I'm going to click on Dynamesh. So now my surface is fairly uniform with my poly count. Go back to deformer and add some points here. Just going to grab that one point here in the middle this time. If you ever find that you've deselected all your points, you can just Control click to the outside and you can select all, deselect all. I'm just going to grab that one and pull out. So you can see we can get some fairly complicated shapes with this deformer. And then you can see with the smoothness, this is controlling how hard the force is that's pulling. And then we have our symmetry. This just allows you to kind of move things symmetrically. I pretty much never use that. I do use this smoothness here. This allows you to really control the power at which this thing is pulling forms. You kind of see you see how it's kind of controlling it there. And I'm going to hit accept, and you can see that came from our initial shape.